Hello, everyone. Patriot5 here. No one here yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and say the pledge and go into the music, and I'll be right back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
I know it's not going to happen.
Forget
But I
the
would say
man who
this
died, who
all
gave
6 of
that
these
right
games.
to me,
I
and
want
I
to do that.
gladly
You know what? The question was
stand
that
next to
do
you
the White Sox
and defend
5 of
her
their last
still
6
today.
not lose 100?
Cause there
And
ain't
he
no
is
doubt
on towards the
that's
the middle.
God bless the USA. God bless the
You know,
USA.
instead of answering the question, the guy last night was just talking. He, the main guy that was hosting looked at the one guy and he says, "Do the White Sox win 5 out of 6
From Minnesota.
And he said, I told you, I was doing maybe we're going to lose 100. No wonder what the team wasn't in there. If they would have come out of this team, if they come out of this team,
From Detroit down to
if they
Houston,
went for the shortstop, the second base, the two catchers,
where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and
he
say,
can have jobs whatever his name was. He has one fucking good game.
and I'm proud to be an American. They were free, and I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt about this. God bless the USA.
That's why I can play left field good now, and you can play right field good. And in center field, it's too good for us. And then I think we're just spoiled because we're trying to play. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American. Yes. Normally at this point of the show, I go ahead and I talk to the kids, but I got something tonight that Patriot Savior put on, and I want to play it. But I want to tell the kids before I even get to it. Hello, Janet. Hello, Janet. Hello, John. Cindy, good to see you. Jeffrey's there. Johnny, Ron, and Larry. Good to see all you guys here. But let me see if I can find what I was looking at here. This was posted today, and I'm going to play it for you. Now, remember, the music I play in tonight's show is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it, the same as the audio I'm about ready to play to you. It's just for entertainment. It's for acknowledgement so people hear what needs to be heard. When I talk to the children, this video is not made for children unless they have an okay from their parents, grandparents, or legal guardians.
At lightning speed. The world as we know it.
naturally.
Speed. The world as we know it is shifting, and the takedown of the old guard has already begun. Sources confirm over 700,000 sealed indictments have now been unsealed. Arrests are occurring in every time zone. High-ranking cabal members, from corrupt bureaucrats to rogue bankers and media moguls, are being rounded up. These are not symbolic arrests. These are operational extractions executed under global military jurisdiction. Military checkpoints are being quietly established across over 100 nations. This isn't about martial law. This is about global liberation. In the US, UK, Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Asia, special forces units, including Navy SEALs, Delta Force, and the British SAS have been activated under direct command of a multinational alliance. These teams are trained for surgical missions, extraction, disruption, and digital warfare. It's no coincidence that cyber experts and psychological warfare specialists have been recalled to active duty. The battlefield isn't just kinetic, it's informational. And that's where the EBS comes in. The emergency broadcast system will initiate a global communications blackout, not to silence the people, but to silence the cabal. During this window, the world will be shown documentary footage never before made public, evidence gathered over decades. Crimes that shock the soul, from ritual abuse and child trafficking to financial slavery and unconstitutional surveillance. This will be broadcast worldwide, unfiltered, uninterrupted. It will be the final red pill. Satellites have been seized, backdoors into the internet neutralized. Military communications will be funneled through the new quantum internet powered by Starlink's secure grid. Once the switch is flipped, the deep state won't be able to coordinate. The mainstream media, muzzled. Their handlers, already gone. And then comes the financial reckoning. The quantum financial system is now active. This isn't just about money, this is about control. And for the first time in modern history, the cabal is losing it. The fiat empire is crumbling. Offshore accounts are frozen. Trillions in illicit assets are being reclaimed and repurposed. The IRS and the Federal Reserve, both unconstitutional, both privately owned, are being dismantled quietly. Permanently, the new system is asset-backed, transparent, unhackable. It operates outside of SWIFT, outside of BIS, outside of Rothschild banking channels. It's a debt jubilee in motion. Mortgages, student loans, credit cards, zeroed. And yes, some Tier 4B individuals, the so-called internet group, have already been contacted. Redemption appointments are real. Whales have been funded. Bondholders are receiving liquidity, and the ripple effect will be planetary. Intel from trusted sources confirms that as of the 27th of June, redemption centers are live. Several key figures have reported payments in the hundreds of millions. Military operations in Reno, Nevada, the central node of financial coordination, have intensified. Private jet traffic has spiked. Secure digital transfers are occurring under blackouts. Bankers are saying it's done, no further delays. The system has crossed the point of no return. Even mainstream sources in Iraq are confirming it now. Purchasing power is being recalibrated. Forex screens are flickering with suppressed rates. The signals are everywhere if you know where to look. And then there's the 4th of July. That date is an arbitrary, it's a constitutional trigger. President Trump, who has remained silent on certain matters for strategic reasons, is expected to declare the Second Declaration of Independence. This isn't politics. This is a full restoration of the original American Republic. The corporate U.S. Inc. dissolved. The IRS, gone. The Federal Reserve, replaced. This will be announced under the full authority of a military constitutional alliance. Every enemy of humanity, from the boardrooms of Davos to the tunnels beneath D.C., is being confronted. Some are already in custody, others are being pursued, but none will escape what's coming. As the EBS begins, the final phase of this awakening will unfold. You'll be instructed to stay indoors, stay offline, and listen. There will be no ambiguity, no confusion, only truth and accountability. We've warned for years. We've decoded every drop. Now it's happening. This is not the end of the world. It's the end of their world and the beginning of ours. Stay strong. Stay awake. Trust the plan. Because you are the storm.
I wanted to play that because I thought it was very good. You may or you may not recognize the voice because you haven't heard the voice for a long, long time. But the picture that was up there of who it was to me one of the best ways to remember this young man that just spoke there, who I think it was, who a lot of people around the world thinks it was, was a little boy that wore a pair of shorts at his daddy's supposedly funeral and saluted as a 3-year-old. He goes by Junior. He goes by many things, but when I listen to that, and he does say the Hat's name in there one time, and I thought, you know what? This needs to be heard by the people. So the reason I put it, and I put it right at the beginning of the video, right after the other two things, I wanted to make sure some people is on. I see Myrna's on now. That I see her neighbor's birthday's today. Happy birthday, Myrna's friend. The reason I seen one voice isn't going to be able to stay in here because she's got work to do outside because we're early. Well, we were supposed to be even earlier than this, but then I decided I was going to do it at a certain other time. But then with it being my son's birthday today and nobody was doing anything for him, I went and got cake and ice cream that we're gonna celebrate with as soon as he gets small Hank back from the his karate class. So I got more. I want to talk about what I just played there, but I want to talk to the kids real quick. And I give up. You win. You kids, you win. You know more than I do. I give up. I've asked you 2 weeks in a row on the weekend, be kids. And the kids that I know that are on here, I don't know them all. I don't get a chance to talk to all of them. Jan has been on vacation, so I haven't been able to talk to her about her 2 grandkids, the princess, our Patriot princess, our queen, and Hunter. I don't get a chance to talk to Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp or Patriot 11. But other kids, I know they're too busy doing what they're going to do, regardless of what we say. So I'm not gonna ask kids anymore to be kids because you're not gonna be. But it's gonna be a rude awakening for you kids. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just getting a higher tip voice. But it's gonna be a rude awakening when all of this stuff gets taken away from you. So I'm trying to help you, get you to learn how to be a kid, get you to learn how to go outside. Instead of staying on a computer, instead of staying on a cell phone, instead of being on a tablet. I'm trying to get you to be a kid. This stuff will be taken away soon. You can maybe say, no, it won't, but it will be. Because that's the main man's goal, is to make kids kids again. We're not going back to 50s and 60s situations so kids can stay in a house instead of going outside. And, today is the first day of fall. Where the heck did summer? Where did summer go? My goodness. It's like it came late. It came the same day as it always does, but the weather part of it came late. And it's just gone. But in the Ukraine has been gone now for 22 days because their fall starts over there on the 1st of September. Julia has been talking to me for 20 days about, it's a beautiful fall day out. And I'm thinking, you're crazy, girl. It's not fall yet. But I'm not mad at any of the kids. It's just that I know of certain ones that didn't be kids. They didn't go out and do what I asked them to do. You know what I was hoping? I was hoping that the parents or the grandparents or that would be on. John, I don't know about Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. I don't know what they went out. I don't think that you allow them to really get on as much. Maybe the oldest one, yes, she's 13 years old. So she's a kid that's in a different stratosphere, what I like to say. She's that I'm not old enough to be considered an adult, but I'm too old to want to go outside and play hide and seek, which I couldn't understand because we played hide and seek until we was 18, 19 years old. Especially if you had your girlfriend there, you'd take her into a dark corner and you'd hide and you'd hope you'd tell the person it was it. Don't come looking there because don't come seeking us. We're hiding. I'm just joking, kids, but I've tried for 2 weeks now and it's just not working. I've had a few parents contact me and say, I really wish they would do this. Don't wish. Make them. It's plain and simple. If they got one of these, take it away from them. And I don't understand why kids, I go pick my grandkids. I go pick up Super Gymnast and Patriot. Seven, Patriot Little Monkey. I go pick them up from the bus, and I'll see these kids getting off to school. They're 9 and 10 years old, and the first thing they do. Oh, we might have some news here, guys. Hold on. Hello.
Hey, Ralph.
What's up?
Did you happen to listen to Trump this afternoon?
No, I did not. What did he say?
On the vaccines? Okay, he's advising people not to take Tylenol.
Okay.
Like the mothers don't take Tylenols that are pregnant, and to try to take their vaccines like not all at one time, like maybe space them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are movies that are coming out. I went to see 2 already. And they're coming out as true stories.
Okay.
So they're exposing what's going on through the movies.
Okay.
And they have a new movie that just came out Friday. It's called Him.
Called what?
H-I-M.
Okay.
H-I-M. Him.
Okay.
And it's exposing the NFL.
Oh, okay. Okay, can I call you back after I get off the show?
That's it.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
No, that's no problem. That's it. That's okay.
Okay. Yep. Bye. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but that was Patriot Savior, and I guess the hat spoke today, and he's warning people not to take a certain medicine. Begins with a T and has a Lanol in it. So just a warning. Maybe if you guys want to chat with her, go on and chat with her and see. Well, there she is. She's on. Margaret, you can chat over here and tell everybody over here exactly what you was just telling me, because that was terrible, terrible service we had. I don't know how long you've been on, Margaret, but that thing that you sent today with Junior, we played it at the beginning of the show. But that's what I wanted to talk to you before I finish with the kids. I wanted to talk, guys. I played it early because people need to hear that. They don't need to hear Pledge of Allegiance. They don't need to hear Proud to be an American. But that part right there, they need to hear. They need to listen, because he explains everything, boom, in a nutshell. Now, going back to the kids, John, I was talking about your granddaughter, the 13-year-old, and she might be 14 by now, huh, John? Man, I got all kind of wrenches in here tonight. No, she ain't 16. Hey, Bobo. Gordon, good to see you. But as I said, I was frustrated when I heard from people, well, my kids didn't go out and play. And, I guess some of my grandkids did, because Liam had Patriots 7 had a 15 now. Okay, Ron said maybe 16. I didn't realize she was that old. My goodness, John, you're getting old. Trouble is, I can't say that too much because I'm a couple months older than John. But see, I look young. Just teasing you, John. Thanks for joining in there. Let me know. But the kids. I don't know. But before I go any further, I got to sing a song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Brandon. Happy birthday to you. And I really, 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 really hope that you see the light and have many, 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 many more. Yeah. At least you stick around until I'm gone. That's all I ask is I'm gone before my kids go or my grandkids. Today is my son's 41st birthday. 41 years ago today at 9:34 a.m. he was born. We was in labor for 20 some hours. The doctor at 6 o'clock said, I'm going out to have breakfast. When we come back, we're having this baby. And she was just not doing what she needed to do. Didn't help the fact that at 2:30 in the morning, they sent me to the cafeteria to get somebody. I said, no, you can't eat. I don't want to eat. You can't eat. I don't want to eat. I go down to the cafeteria and they got fried chicken. The guy that's working is a good friend of mine. I worked with his dad for 30 years. One of the other dads to be got the fried chicken, got 2 little bitty pieces of chicken. I ain't kidding you. I think he got sparrow. I ain't kidding you, pigeon. He didn't get chicken. Man, I get the same meal. I get like 6 pieces of nice big crispy chicken with French fries, mashed potatoes. I mean, he couldn't get enough food on my plate because he wanted to make sure I was taken care of. I go back and I walk in that room and my ex-wife is laying there and she's finally starting to dilate a little bit and finally starting to have them contractions. And I'm saying, take it easy. Just breathe. And you know how I'm supposed to do? I'm the coach. Oh, I'm telling you, she's throwing some words at me and she's throwing some words at me. And she's in labor, and I mean, it was terrible. The names that she called me, I cannot say them here. I wouldn't say them here. Not even when I first started, and I used to cuss a lot. I used to have naughty shows. I mean, I had a factory mouth. And if anybody's ever worked in a factory, you know what that is. But boy, I'm telling you, she called me every name. And the more she would call me, the closer I would get to her so she could smell that fried chicken. I would do that. And but anyway, when the doctor said, well, we'll be back about 7:30, he comes back at 7:30, 8 o'clock. It was a little after 8. He looked at me and he says, I'm going to give you guys some time to think about it, but she's not dilating. She's not doing what we need her to do. And I'm afraid she's going to start stressing the baby. Okay. What are we going to do? What's our options? Well, you can go cesarean. Guys, if I'm Golden Arrow, if I say cesarean to you, Bobo, if I say it, Janet, if I say it to you, you know exactly what it is, right? Back 41 years ago, it wasn't that common. When we took the birthing class, the only thing they said about cesarean deliveries was on occasion, a woman just can't bring the baby herself, so they have to do a cesarean. That's not how the cesarean worked. Nothing about it, just on occasions. So we're talking and talking and talking. He comes back in about 9:10. 9:15, and what's your decision? I said, I think we need to do the cesarean. I walked out of that room. He says, go call someone to come be with you. I said, huh? He goes, this is an emergency cesarean. Here I'm thinking I'm about ready to be a father. I've got a wife there that at that time I did have feelings for. I think. I'm going to go to hell. But anyway, I walked to the phone and I call my mom. I said, Mom, can you come up here? And I told her what's going. Her and Ron jumped in the car. And this is supposed to be like a 25, 30 minute trip to get into the hospital if you're moving quickly. I got off the phone with her. I walked outside. I was crying because I thought I was going to lose my wife and my child. I got my composure. I walked back to the waiting room. And when I get back to the waiting room, they're coming down the hallway, pushing a little baby. I walked down the hallway and I said, is that the Anderson child? And they said, yes, this is the Anderson boy. And I said, his name is Brandon. Don't call him an Anderson boy no more. His name is Brandon. I named him right there. I walked with him down to the nursery. They said, we're going to clean him up. Can you come back in about 15 minutes? I walked back to the phone and thought maybe I catch my mom in early enough she don't have to come up. No, she made it up there in 20 minutes. But I call and I talk to my dad, and see, having a grandson was my dad's biggest dream. He wanted his family name carried on. And my son, who was born 41 years ago today, carried it on. We both cried like little babies. And then as I'm turning away, I see here's Ron and my mom coming in the door. 20 minutes later, my mom did not speed, but that day she did, because her baby, that would be me, she thought was in trouble. So, hi, Joseph. Hi, Savita. Oh, Golden Arrow, you come back. Oh, you got that work in the yard done already? Golden Arrow, you want to come do my yard work? You know, my son looked at me and told me I needed to go out and clean up where my dog goes to the bathroom in the yard. I said, oh, I'll get it. He walked out to go to the garage yesterday, and all of a sudden I heard him yelling, Dad! I didn't get it. But anyway, I know I've been done with the kids for a while, but that does conclude. And remember, kids, this video is not for you, but you can watch it under the discretion. I've already played the thing with Junior.
I just sent you something that Diane sent from TNT, Tony.
Okay, let me go here. Ron just sent me something that Diane sent from TNT. See what he's got with Charlie.
Uh-huh.
Is it reading or?
Yeah, it's reading.
Okay.
My question for you is, if you were stranded on a deserted island with...
Oh, that was Margaret I clicked on. Sorry about that. TNT Tony, tonight, yes, this week we're going for RV. Notifications will come in early AM. Hope, wish, and pray for 800 numbers tomorrow. Oil agreements signed by Sudani today. Banks given green light and ready to go and have assurances. You know, what is this shared YouTube thing?
What?
I don't know. It says here shared YouTube.
No, I don't know. All I did was send what she sent me.
Oh, so anyway, oh, that's today's thing. Anyway, that's everything we've been getting. Since yesterday afternoon, right after the Bears blew out the Dallas Cowboys. Hey! But anyway, after they blew out the Dallas Cowboys.
I wore my new Bear shirt.
Ron wore his new Bear shirt. It was a
Quarterback shirt.
Williams shirt, the quarterback. But I had a hard time explaining that to the backup quarterback today as I chat with him on Messenger here. And he was wondering if we had his jersey. So I said, no, sir, but we're getting them for Christmas. I'm getting him one. He's getting me one. Since I go and do Ron's Christmas shopping. That'll be an easy thing to do. But anyway, starting about that time, right after the game, and a few soda pops in the form of Coors Light bottles, aluminum cans, whatever you want to call them. I started seeing everywhere, guys. Janet and John and Golden Arrow, Bobo, CA, Margaret. Did you guys all see this yesterday? It seemed like everybody coming out said Tuesday, the 23rd. Tuesday, the 23rd is going to be our magical day. I'm talking to Ron, and then when I go home, he calls me before he goes to bed, and we chat a little bit. We kind of recap the whole day. You know, it's funny because we'll talk at midnight longer than we talk when I sit down here for 4 hours a day. But we recap the day and we go over everything. And he's telling me how, did you see this? And everything is pointing for tomorrow. And I mean, I can only hope and pray that it is. Oh, this must be what she just sent you. Yes. Yeah, Diane sent that to me too about TNT. And you know, when I talk, guys, when I talk about this stuff, people will look at me and say, you're so optimistic. You keep telling us it's going to go. And the only thing I can tell you, you're in the right place at the right time. You was chosen for this. Here's something from Patriot Princess. Was the 3-letter president, senior, fake death? The start of secret military operations to take down the cabal. Ezra Cohen Watnick told you in code in 2017, military start, disclosure to civilians, we the people. The past 8 years have been a military operation, Q grassroots movement, secret martial law. You have been and still are literally watching the swamp drain right before your eyes. You are watching the entire world reset right before your eyes. You are watching evil capitulate right before your eyes. If you are upset and impatient, wanting a rest and questioning why this is taking so long, that is good. That is the plan. You pissed off is the plan. You aware and PISSED off is proof that secret military operations and grassroots military operations are working because you have seen the truth and want justice. What if we have come full circle? JFK Sr., fake. The start of the secret military operations to take down the worldwide cabal was Charlie Kirk. Fake death, the end. What if every assassination attempt points to MOSSAD? What if? Was it a fake for CK? Because see, guys, if you just stop and think, if you just stop and use a little common sense, in 1962, our president made a video. You know, one of those home videos. Remember, you know, John, you might remember, because you're as old as me. Remember them crappy cameras that they had to take home videos? But my sister got one. My sister got one when I was just about that age. She had gotten married, and she had to start recording everything of her daughter, and all the kids that she was going to have, which she had ended up with 4. And she got one of these. And I remember we used to watch these videos all night long. We couldn't get enough of them, even though we were in them. But they were so terrible. And this video with Senior, in this video, he says the date, and I don't remember the date, 1962. At that point, his son would have been that old. 2, hang 'em horns. They've been 2 years old. Huh. He made the statement with his son being 2 years old and him less than a year away from not being with us physically, where we could talk to him and he could be our president. He made the statement in his son's life in the 90s, his son would die in a plane crash. Only to come back later and help the 45th president of the United States take over the cabal and do what needs to be done to make America great again. Because, see, that was his goal, but he didn't have everybody backing him. You know, I told you the story the other day when he was in charge, 100 and some thousand troops was in Vietnam. By 1968, LBJ had over 600,000 troops. They didn't care. All they cared about was funneling that money. Everybody knows your economy is always better in wartime. But see, it gets even worse here. It gets even worse here because there's a bean out there, you know, a bean that they're baked, and you know what kind I'm talking about? There's bushes out in the yard and all that. You understand what I'm saying? But there's a man with that last name who just happened to be running certain things in and out of that country. Yes, young men. You know, a heck of a lot went over. A heck of a lot when they came home. Didn't come home the right way. Our family personally knew two of them. My best friend at the time, Johnny Dale Phillips, his brother Lloyd, who was one of my brother Ron and my brother Russ's best friends, 23 days away from coming home. And somebody about 20 feet, 25 feet away from him stepped on a mine out on their last mission, and it took out the whole troops. He would only had to go over there that time. He only had to go over there for, I think, 8 months. It was a short tour. They was late sending him, but he agreed to go. He wouldn't have had to. The funeral that I went to for that young man, I buried my mom and dad, and it wasn't as sad at the graveyard as that one. As his fiance, who was within 2 weeks of giving birth to their little girl. Their little girl never got to see daddy, all because of corruptness. And this is what the hat, this is what junior and senior, this is what CK, this is what all this, you people, me, Ron, this is what all of us was called here since then. Some people say it actually started back in the Civil War, that Lincoln actually started this movement. But see, one person can't do it alone. And Senior was trying to do it alone. Look at what happened on September 11th, 2001. We were supposed to get what we're supposed to get now. So see, even though it's taken forever, it seems, would you agree with me, Valerie and Papa G? Would you agree with me, Bobo, Savita, Sharetta? Would you agree with me that doesn't it seem like it's taking forever? But it is, because we have to wipe them all out. We can't give them the opportunity. Hundreds, maybe even thousands of people have left. I seen a video the other day with the king. And I'm not talking about the king in England who looked like a whipped little puppy dog following the hat around in his country. You want to talk about a man that gets no respect. Oh my goodness, it's there. But all of this is for a reason. We have to take them out. I sung to my son, 41 years old. I sang to him just a little bit ago. When I declared to him, this is how naive I was. But when I declared to him that I was a patriot and I would do whatever I could to help this country be the greatest country in the world, He looked at me and said, Dad, if you really mean that, you got to help them clean out the swamps. I had no clue what he meant, clean out the swamps. So I started doing research and I started learning. And then I got introduced to people like Myrna, Diane. I got introduced to people like so many others that I can't mention names because I won't mention their names on the show anymore. But a real funny story. I don't know when the music was playing or when I was playing that one thing, and I'm sitting here because it was when I was playing the second one with Junior, and I'm sitting here like this. And all of a sudden I went like this and I smiled. I don't know if you guys remembered me doing that. But I got thinking, oh, I remember one night when I got in trouble for doing that because we had someone else thought that she decided to take over the show. And it's just funny how things come back to you. But I hold no grudges against any of them. I wish them all the best. You know, what's the song says? Hit me with your best shot. They did. I know it's funny, the second group that went down, you know, in the words of Hawk Harrelson, they gone, you know, they couldn't stretch, but we could put it on a board. But Patriot 5, Patriot 6, and family stayed together. And what was funny is they came on that night to try to ruin our show. And I just sit here. Ron's over there telling me, take them out, get rid of them. And I'm watching my moderators just taking one after another and they're blaming everything on me. And I'm sitting here just smiling, not doing a thing. I let you guys, you people that love me and Ron the way we love you guys took over and saved this show. We all get frustrated, right, Ann? Janet, how many times have you been frustrated through this? Papa G, I know you. Me and you've talked a few times on the phone. We all do. And you know what I do when I start to get frustrated? And this is going to sound funny, Eileen. This is going to sound funny, but you can ask Ron. Whenever I start to get a little frustrated and feel like the walls are coming in on me and it's not going to happen, I go out and buy some more currency. Honest to goodness. I looked at him the other day and I said, Ron. He goes, what? And I started to say something. He said, you bought some more, didn't you? Yeah. I wanted 100 more of the the yellow dragon bonds. I bought 100 more of them. Man, I'm telling you guys. And I'm not saying this bragging, but you know, I once heard a man called a Wolverine. I once heard him say that these yellow dragon bonds, they're going to be worth about it. 1 to 2 billion. I'm telling you, with what I went out and bought of them, I maybe I should be going with the bonds people. I just went out and bought 10 more of the $100 trillion Zimbabwe notes because that's what I do. I start feeling frustrated. And I said, well, let's build for the future because I believe in the future. I believe that everything that we're fighting for here, guys, is going to work. What do you think about that, Wallace? If we're talking about the same person, you're right, Wallace. She is crazy. Valerie, I said hi to you, didn't I? I'm trying to get everybody in here tonight. Rest in peace, hero, Cindy. Yes, I agree. But, you know, I remember the pain of that soldier. I was walking beans that day. We was living on a farm, and farmer right across, he wanted me to walk beans for him because I did such a good job, me and Ron and a couple of other guys, walking his cousin's beans. The only thing the cousins just looked at and said, we're giving you $1 an acre. I got 300 acres. Get them done as fast as you can. I got out there with a couple of people, Ron and me, and it took us like a day and a half to walk them all. I mean, we was booking. Then I go walking with this guy, and he's got all kind of kids. And I get over there, and I got my gloves. And I looked at him, I says, where's the hose? Oh, you don't need a hoe. We pull. I said, huh? He goes, we pool. I said, we pool what? You know, as a teenage boy, just starting to learn about life. That's a terrible joke. I shouldn't have said that. Told kids it's not meant. That's terrible. I'm going to hell. No, I'm not. But anyway, I said, what do you mean you pool? He said, we get the thing of corn, we pull it out. I said, are you kidding me? I'm telling you, I worked from 8 o'clock until noon. I was so tired. And we only walked about 10 acres. We had 10 kids. But, oh, you had to get everything. And I'm thinking, this is ludicrous. Well, come on, let's go to lunch. I said, no, I'm going to lunch over there. My mom's making me fried potatoes. My mom made the best fried potatoes in the world. I'm going over there and eating. I go over there and my mom's crying. I said, what's the matter? And she tells me about this soldier, Lloyd. I said, come on, let's go. She says, you ready? And I said, yeah. She said, well, you haven't had lunch. I said, I don't need lunch. Needless to my mom know. As she was getting her shoes and stuff, I went and I got a bowl and I took all of them potatoes, them fried potatoes, and I put them in a bowl and I ate in the car while she drove, but we went to Buckingham. And we consoled these people, and it was terrible. But so many young kids we lost. But we're not losing them now. Because I want to bring up one more subject here real quick. Papa G, I know somewhat your age. John, if you're still on. Hey, Vicky, good to see you here. Wallace. Anybody who's up in age a little bit. Do you remember as a kid, one of the main threats going around was World War III? But what was it about? What was World War III about back then? World War III was about blowing the whole world up. It would end the whole world. And I'm thinking, no, I want a chance. You know, isn't it amazing? Because I can remember as a 10, 11-year-old kid, and they're talking about World War III with all of this firepower that they could launch a missile and just blow the United States off the face of the earth. And I said, no, I want to live. And isn't it funny that now at 70, I'm thinking, oh, we overset that. We didn't have World War III, but we have. Have we already had it? Because, see, World War III is being fought online. I know someone told me that the other day. But it made sense because, see, I never thought. As a kid, I worried. I'm not going to make 20 years old. I'm not going to get to go and drink legally in a bar. And that bothered me. And I can remember working in the yard, in a garden one night with my dad. And there was a scare about an invasion. It was all over the news. Back all over the news when the news used to announce the news. I remember how scared I was. I remember crying in the garden with my dad, and he says, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. My dad had a 5th grade education, but I'm telling you, he's the smartest man I ever knew. And as a worker, he's the greatest worker. I always said, when I get a regular job, if I can be 50% the worker my dad was, I'll be the best worker wherever I work. He had a work ethic that was unlike anybody's. You know, let me see what else we got here. You know something I've been noticing, guys? If you're on Telegram, there's a site on there. Special Beds Technology. And supposedly now they're letting you sign up and pay to get a card to get on the special beds. I'm not doing it. I'm going to advise no one to do it. I have been seeing a lot more videos of people getting on these and they're working. And if you listen to Junior speaking at that audio that I played tonight, you will hear he said that they're available. They're ready to go. But what can we do when they go, I was talking to a young lady today, and she's a very nice young girl. And she was talking to me, and hey, Carrie. She was talking to me, hi, Vicky. But she was talking to me about certain things. And all of a sudden, she got very, very somber, very, very distraught. And I said, what's the matter? And she says, my mom is in the hospital with stage 3 or stage 4, big C. And I said, what? And she said, yeah. And she says, I don't want to lose her. She's all I got left. And I said, well, I might have some good news for you. And I give her the name of what it is, the special beds, what they're really called. I said, go do some searches on it. And I also give her a couple of links that really had good videos on them. And she came back about 2 hours later, and she said, I left work early today. And I said, really? What was the cause? And she says, I went to the hospital to see my mom. I said, how's she doing? Now she's doing a lot better because I showed her the videos of which you showed me. And she now has hope. And see, guys, that's how we're gonna survive, is we gotta keep having hope. Right, Janet? Right, CA? Right, Wallace? Vicky? Bobo? We gotta have hope. Because if we give up on the hope, we're giving up on our dreams, our life, and everything. Now, Wallace and Janet, John, Kara, Vicky, why do you think you're on this show tonight? Not because I'm the world's greatest speaker, not because I have the greatest information, but we're on here as a family that's come together while our real family has fallen apart. But you know, we're this close, guys. We're this close to where our real family is going to be saying, did you know about this? I've known about it for 10 years. Why didn't you tell me? Tried to. But you didn't try hard enough. Oh, yeah, I did. How many of you here have went to family get-togethers and they don't want to have nothing to do with you? I just missed a wedding the other day. Great nephew of mine. I liked the kid. I knew there was no sense to go because, first of all, I wasn't feeling good. Then I got even feeling worse when my Illini got really ripped apart by Indiana, but it is what it is. One game, so you don't judge a season. But if I would have went and Ron wouldn't have, here would have been me at the reception. Ron didn't want to come. I look around. I said, nope. How come? What's wrong? Don't know. Well, how come he didn't come? Ask him, and he said didn't want to. This is everything with my family's get-togethers. If Ron doesn't go, so I'm really thinking, because the next big holiday, unless we get a new 4th of July, I don't know if you guys caught that in that audio. We're going to have a second Independence Day here coming soon. But when I go to Thanksgiving at my niece's place, she took her garage and turned it into a bar and a lounge. And I mean, it's as nice as any bar I've really ever been in. But then again, I don't go to the expensive bar. But anyway, when I go there, I'm really thinking about getting a Thanksgiving shirt. My name is Ralph. I am not Ron. If you want to know why he's here, and then turn around and have his phone number on the back, call. I'm seriously thinking about doing that because I know Bobo and Kara and, Cynthia, Cindy, I know, family has just totally left us. They don't care about us. It's sad, but what are we going to do? Oh, yeah, right here's what I was talking to you about. Pre-order special bets cards. Why? Everything is going to be free. Why are we going to order a card and pay for it? And what gets me, we can't stop mainstream media. We can't even stop this. We can't even stop where all these people on social media is using the hat's name and using this AI to make it look like he's really talking and saying this stuff. He has come out and on 100 occasions, I have heard him say, do not, any coins that is out there, I do not endorse. Anything out there that they're selling as a special, I do not endorse this. But everywhere you go, I used to belong to, that actor, the good one, Mel Gibson's site on Telegram. And it got to where when you went there, all he talked about, his press secretary. I loved it when I first started following her. Now all they want to talk about is this is your last chance to buy these coins. Here's the thing, guys. We have the opportunity to buy all the currency we want. We have the opportunity to buy all the XRP that we want. Why are we going to worry about something that he is not endorsing, but they're trying to swindle us into buying? Because what's going to happen, you're going to say, I'm going to buy 20 of them. Man, that's going to make me rich. Yeah. You know what's going to happen? Your card's going to get charged and boom, you're gone. Why do you want to go and pay to get it? Unless you have to be on a bed right now. Just give it a little more time and you'll go and get on that bed and whatever ails you will be healed. Trying to think what I want to talk about now. I was wanting to talk about Restored Republic, but I'm not sure I have the reading part. Nope, that's pretty much going to do it for tonight, guys. I thought I was going to do Restored Republic, but I don't have the reading part of it. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. We almost made an hour. 107 people. Hi, Larry. Hey, Bill, good to see you made it, brother. Get that wrench up there. So that being said, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Go have some cake and ice cream with my son. And Myrna, make sure you tell I think it was your neighbor, make sure you tell him happy birthday from us. And we'll talk to y'all. Hey, we might talk tomorrow, guys, because I'm hearing great news that tomorrow's the day. Let's hope and pray. Good night. God bless. We love you all.